So all the work that Brandon just did in RevOps makes my life 1,000 times easier. He's already told me which accounts I should go after. He's made sure that my contact data is pristine. I know that so-and-so moved from an account that used to work for one of our existing customers into one of my prospects. That's all gold. And it actually makes it way more likely that I hit my quota. So nice job. Appreciate it.
Let's go.
So what I want to talk through next is a few things that, as a rep, make my life easier. The first one is signal emails. And this is something that has existed inside of Pursuit for a minute, just that they've gotten a little bit better. So as an example, what I want to walk through here is, for instance, for the town of Wayland, if I sell an infrastructure asset risk management product, I can know that, for instance, in their meeting from just 10 days ago or so, there was a capital improvement committee that was formed, and they're actively prioritizing different capital projects, including things related to public safety, risk reduction, and infrastructure conditions. For me, as a person who sells software that manages that, that's a gold opportunity that I need to reach out to. The other cool thing is, with Brandon's account scoring thing, that can now flow into my emails in the morning. So I can get this town of Wayland, not only is it an opportunity, but it's an A account as well. So that tells me I can't let that lead drop. So from here, a couple other things that we've added is you can take this opportunity straight into outreach, straight into generating an outreach sequence and sending the email directly from Pursuit. So that's a couple of things that are new in the winter release. But what I want to jump to next is basically how we're using the Chrome extension for giving me as a rep superpowers. Brandon walked through before some of the columns that he has set up, and he chose to pin them for me. So that now when I'm as a rep, let's say I've got a meeting with Cook County, and I'm on their website. I could also be on the opportunity in Salesforce, or the account in Salesforce, or the account in HubSpot, any place where this data is. I can open up Pursuit, and then the Chrome extension is going to show me all that stuff that Brandon teed up for me before. For instance, fiscal stress. This is telling me that they're not in a structural deficit, but they do have some moderate stress levels. Their pensions are not totally funded. It's a high percentage of the pension fund is a high percentage of the overall budget, which means that they might not have a ton of money to spend. That said, it looks like they are confirmed to use Omnia, Sourcewell, and NASPO. The one that they've used most often is Omnia, and their operating budget is growing. That and the year-over-year change is actually really meaningful, 21% up. That makes it way easier to sell into them. So now, when I'm getting ready to walk in there, I can see, oh yeah, here are some contracts that they have. Here's an Oracle contract. It started in 2015. The first master term ended in 2020. It was renewed again as of 23. So that tells me that maybe that they've been a partner of Oracle's for a really long time. And I know, based on my battle cards, what I should be asking them about, because they're approaching an end date of that contract. So Pursuit's the only place where you can actually have this information right in front of you as a rep. And this is all the account research that the RevOps team has teed up. The other thing that I want to do is point out here that we've got contact data right in the workflow as well. So I can see all the different people. Brandon set it up so that the administration persona is automatically filtered, and we're only showing contacts with greater than a 100 score. And I might say, I want to pull in some of these district commissioners, for instance. I can select them, I can export them, and they'll go automatically over into Salesforce, and they'll be kept up to date from now on. So if one of these people changes, one of them is no longer a commissioner, that will be reflected in the in the CRM as well. So that's all set up by RevOps, and sales teams can push this data over. So the Chrome extension just saves you a ton of time, tees up all the research that the RevOps team did on my behalf. The last thing that I want to talk about, also in the theme of making sure that Pursuit follows me everywhere where I'm at, is a Slack integration. Let's just imagine that I walked out of one meeting right into another one, and I haven't had time to do the proper research. So I'm needing a Hail Mary here from Pursuit. And I just say, I've got a meeting coming up. What are the chances what are they working on related to replacing their ERP? Are there any pain points they're experiencing? And also, please help me, give me some questions that I should ask, in my introductory call, some discovery questions I should ask. And so Pursuit, we've got our AI is going out and looking at all the documents on the web, but also looking at the document library as well. All the FOIAs that we have, the PO, the purchase order FOIAs, the contract FOIAs, any of the PDFs that our proprietary crawler has found. So a budget, a meeting, a commission or a committee file, the annual comprehensive financial report, any of the data that is available on this account, Pursuit's AI is going and looking at right now. So after a second, it'll come back and it'll tell me what's up.
The other thing I want to mention here is it actually knows who you are as a customer, right? So it has all the access to your Salesforce data. It can know what opportunity fields or what opportunities are there, and it will showcase those as well.
And this is one of the little details that I think is kind of cool. It acknowledges, I don't know if you saw that, but the eyes popped up when I put my question in and it says, "We see you." And now, Pursuit responded. And it says, I found Cook County in multiple states. I'll assume you meant Cook County, Illinois. I did, thank you. And I'll search for their ERP pain points. Here's what I found. Cook County has an established, where'd that go? Has an established ERP department with dedicated leadership, including a director of ERP who gets paid $216K, and ERP operations at $170K. And then they've got ERP analysts as well. Kind of cool to know. The county is actively expanding their ERP capabilities with these planned implementations. There's some expense and P card stuff, a new budgeting system, potential pain points. The HCM functional lead went from 2 FTEs to 0, so it looks like they're downsizing that. Okay, so here's some questions. I noticed that the budget shows new expense and budget system implementations. What's driving those priorities? So again, I might have found that. I might have gotten lucky and looked it up in Google, or maybe I looked at this one-off account up in ChatGPT. But what those other tools don't have is the document library. They don't have access to the FOIAs. They don't have access to all the PDFs. Pursuit goes insanely deep to figure this out. So your questions here, it's the difference between a discovery call for a rep who was just hired versus one who's been there for 5 years. These are really good, well-researched discovery questions. So that just brings it straight into your workflow. Obviously, inside of Pursuit, you could have this conversation as well with chat with entities. But I just want to highlight those 3 things. And 2 of them are proactive. The Chrome extension, where I'm going out and I'm doing research on behalf of an upcoming account or an upcoming call that I have. The second one is Slackbot. I'm going to it to look up information. The other one, the email alerts, that is an AI agent that's a clone of me that while I'm sleeping is going and doing homework on my territory. It's watching every council meeting. It's watching every committee meeting. It's reading all their documents. It's looking at social posts, and it's going to serve me on a silver platter in the morning all the stuff that I need to know about. So now as a rep, I don't have to worry about any of that noise. I can spend all my time focused on the accounts. And so that's some of the stuff that's new in the winter release. Those 3 things, they make the life easier for an AE, for a BDR, and for a CSM. The CSM point is maybe someone's mentioned, maybe a competitor is mentioned in a council meeting, and you want to know anytime there's a competitor mention. Last thing I wanted to say was that Pursuit has also introduced, and this is a beta thing, our MCP. So in the future, you want to have, part of having the data everywhere is being able to put it into different AI systems, and Pursuit's MCP is purpose-built for that. So that's how we're making life better for the individual sellers or BDRs or CSMs.